Hello, early Wednesday morning, January 21st, 2026. This is just a little thing that I get caught my eye today or earlier when um, I saw that I just checked the Dow real fast because I was curious. I don't do this every day. And I saw, whoa, it went down by almost 2%. That's a huge dip. And when that happens, I'm usually thinking like a lot of when it goes down like this, the swamp stocks will usually do worse than the other stocks. So I usually go up to I just want to see how the Dow got to be so negative. And it looks like it was equally negative. Like I'm usually seeing who the biggest losers were and the biggest winners. And for yesterday, the biggest loser was. I'm looking at this column right here on the right. It's the percent losing, and it was 3M Company, minus seven percentage points down here on the right. And then the biggest winners, or who's staying, who's surviving yesterday? It's United Health Group, 2% going up on such a negative day, followed by Procter and Gamble right here, or Coca-Cola and Procter and Gamble, 1, 2, and 3 in that order on the Dow. So this really caught my eye immediately. I'm not sure anybody following me. It's like, oh, this is not a coincidence. So first of all, before I go on, I usually ignore United Health Group because I don't ignore it, but I don't. It's not a real kind of. It's a real company, but I pegged it like 2 or 3 years ago as like a Trump stock. Like Trump uses that stock. He'll sell and buy it and do whatever to manipulate whatever he needs on the Dow. Like when you go here, it's like I was actually surprised today when I saw this because I haven't looked at it for a long time. When you look at United Health stock, I was just kind of shocked to see this. Like when I looked at it, I could not believe that it had gone down by so much recently. Look at this. Look at that big dip from. Anyway, that's just like since last April. So he's like, what the hell's going on with the United? Anyway, Trump's doing shit with that stock, and I don't know what. I'm not even going to draw lines or anything. Like, and that was confirmed like a year ago. There's a bit of a connection. I'm going to do this real fast. Last year, before the tree lighting ceremony, Rockefeller Center tree lighting ceremony done by my boo, this was Boo Security, I was having fits, bad vibes, the whole thing. Like, there's just some kind of stuff going on there. I don't always do this. Everybody might think that at this point because I'm always having fits about. But I was really last year at this time. And online, I'm posting it. The tree lighting ceremony is in the evening on December 4th. It's a Wednesday. And nothing really happened. It was in New York City until that morning. The CEO of this company is a Trump favorite, probably handpicked by Trump, or maybe not. One or the other, I'm not sure, but it's Trump related. It's his stock, I guess. But he was shot and killed, supposedly. I always said that's a fake shooting, and thank you to Trump, because once that shooting happened on Wednesday, December 4th, 2024, early in the morning, just a few miles from Rockefeller Center in New York City, then there wasn't going to be a shooting at the Rockefeller Center. It was near Rockefeller Center in New York, and because there's a big shooting like that, there's super security going all over the city, and whatever was planned for Rockefeller Center that night was no, it's not going to happen. I always thought Trump did that. I thanked him if that's what happened, and what harm in letting me believe that? So that was what was his name? But I have it here. Hold on a minute. Do I have his name? Brian Thompson, something like that. United Healthcare. Brian Thompson. I'm sorry, that's just something else going on. Did I just delete that? No, okay, so I just deleted that. Sorry about that. Anyway, that's United Healthcare. It's a Trump stock, and that CEO did not die. Trump, it was just more Trump 5D chess moves. I don't think he died. I think Trump airlifted him out because there was trouble, and then they did this whole thing, and he made a star out of the guy who shot him, and he's always doing stuff like that. It just felt very Trump-like. Yeah, so this thing where I'm saying he's airlifting people out and they're not dying, I don't do that for everybody, but sometimes it just feels that way, and one way or the other. But that's that stock today. So Trump is up to something with that stock. But let's look at these two, Procter and Gamble and Coca-Cola. You guys may recall that last Friday, before this was the last, before today's stock market opened, it was the last time. The interesting thing was, so last Friday I posted something called Gay Nazi Tobacco Swamp Pedophile Hunting Part 4. It was a long video, but in the middle of it, I was looking for what I'm calling potential pedophile swamp flagship stocks. I have Marlboro and for tobacco, on and on. I don't have much time. I've got 5 minutes. I got to get ready to get to work. But out of the potential list of stocks from my viewing of Stranger Things, I came up with two new ones, which was many new ones, but the only two that are on the Dow are Coca-Cola and Procter and Gamble. And when I looked at their stocks, I said, well, maybe they are. They look well, especially Coca-Cola, but there was a certain pattern. And I said Coca-Cola is going to be, I think, is a flagship pedophile swamp stock, and so is Procter and Gamble from their associations with Stranger Things. And they're the only two I listed out that are on the Dow, and now they're the only two today that were positive. So before I make a conclusion on this, I looked at 3M. Remember, the only one that was negative, or not the one with the biggest loser. And I said, okay, let's take a look at that stock, and let's see what's going on there first before we make any conclusions about what's going on today. I mean, I already made a conclusion at this point. I already figured. I think it's going to be a swamp stock. And there it is, the ugliest graph I've ever seen in my life, other than a few other things. So I'm not even going to draw a line. I'm not even going to bother. This company is going to go out of business soon, but maybe not. I mean, yeah, it's going to go out of business. A long time ago, I forget why, I always thought it was a little bit slimy, but it's definitely going down to like the 75s. It's going to be cut in half at least before it bounces off this line. But check this out. It starts out, it looks kind of tobacco-y and then kind of pharmaceutical-y. This is right here is the 2020. That's the 2020 low, and it fell below that, which means it's a company at risk of going out of business. And then right in what is this one? Okay, get out of my way. Sorry, guys. Oh, 2 minutes. Right in October of 2023, if you have any kind of a stock that just was going downhill and then all of a sudden mysteriously goes up out of nowhere like this, in October of 2023, it is a definite getting money from the religion swamp people. And now the religion swamp has imploded. So if it's a stock that looks like it's gotten benefits from multiple swamps, it's a pedophile stock. So 3M Company is a new pedophile stock. So what happened yesterday, very quickly, was after I've exposed all this stuff last Friday, it could be me or it could just be what's going on, but the swamps sold as much as they could of 3M Company to keep the Coca-Cola Company and Procter and Gamble afloat today and make them look healthy when they're not. So Procter and Gamble and Coca-Cola, they're going to start to go down. They're pedophile swamp companies. Now it's confirmed today by me. I'm not even going to show you the graphs because I don't have time. And so is 3M. I got to go, guys. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I was going to post this before I go, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish this when I get back. I just wanted to do the other graphs because once the Dow opens later, once the stock market opens, all that information's gone. And I just wanted to keep that information before all that information's gone. The rest isn't important. Bye. I got to get to work. Bye. Hello. Happy Wednesday evening now. January 21st, 2026. I started out this morning with a video that was going to be short, and it never ends up being short. And now I'm going to turn it into Gay Nazi Tobacco Swamp Pedophile Hunting Part 5. It's going to be a couple hours, you guys. It was going to be 5 minutes, but I need to get some stuff out of the way. So when we left, I noticed with the Dow tanking, there were 3 stocks that stood out for me, and that was the Coca-Cola and Procter & Gamble, and also the 3M company. And today I get back from work and I noticed that the Dow was doing the opposite of yesterday. The Dow was going, it went down by 1 point, it was a little bit more, it went down by 1.8 or something. It was a lot. And then today it just regained most of that. So you just search the internet for weighted Dow and it'll bring you to the slick charts. And it's just the opposite of yesterday. Everything that's green here was red yesterday, maybe not Microsoft, but it's mostly the opposite. And then you get to the bottom and the only 2 or 3 that were green yesterday, which is Procter & Gamble and Coca-Cola. Well, Coca-Cola was negative all day long and then it went positive. So we're going to be looking at stocks a lot. This is going to be very slow, but it's all right. I mean, I'm going to go through everything just to clear all this stuff. This is going to be spaghetti against the wall. So Coke. Today it was negative most of the day, and then right at the very end they got it above zero. When I say they, I mean this pedophile swamp. I've determined Coke is a pedophile swamp for sure now, and Procter & Gamble, mostly because of the manipulations over the last couple of days. Now I know Trump was doing stuff in Greenland, and they were saying, oh, the tariffs this, and then doing all this stuff. And I think this might be Trump doing this as well, but who knows? It's just the fact that Coca-Cola and Procter & Gamble are like standing out. and also 3M company was really low today. So the 3 lowest today are like 3M, Procter & Gamble, and Coca-Cola kind of. You know, there's some exceptions there, but they were the highest yesterday except the 3, whatever, blah, 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 blah. That was where we left it. Now, and then I also said, before I closed off, I said, I'm not even going to show the charts of Coca-Cola and Procter & Gamble and all this stuff. But today I am. I'm going to show a lot of charts. So be prepared. Gird your loins or not, or forget it. But the point is, before this happened, I said, I also talked about how the United Health Group was a Trump stock, and I talked a little bit about the shooting in New York City a year ago, December 4th, 2024, and how I had kind of predicted some kind of a shooting. I was getting bad vibes happening in New York. I did relate it to the pharmaceutical swamp at the time, now that I remember, but I throw it out there, and then it just reminded me. Earlier today, while I was just preparing to do a quick video and finish it, I got sidetracked by a lot of activity going on at Walmart Radio, and I issued a do not poo-poo this level alert again. I've been doing them a lot lately, and I'm saying there may be a bombing at the Walmart headquarters in Bentonville, Arkansas. And, you know, I know this is alarming. What happens in the past is the people I'm trying to usurp will call the police and say it's me or whatever. They'll pretend like I'm a big security threat, like I'm the security threat and not them. So that happened last year. I said I feel bad vibes about the Christmas tree lighting and all that. And then the next day on December 5th, knock, 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 this is what I get. I filmed it. I'm going to play the whole thing because I put this up on Twitter. The Twitter account is no longer there. But I saw this today, and it's relevant because I'm trying to tell. I think after earlier this week, I think the Gainesville police are kind of watching out for me or looking out, or I think they even knocked on my door the other night. Dear Gainesville police, I'm not nuts. This is what I do. I'm here. I'm not anywhere. I'm not setting off bombs. I'm just doing exactly what I said here when you guys sent somebody last year at this time. So this is December 5th, 2024. This video, I'm going to play the whole thing.
I'm fine, and I told Gainesville PD everything is fine. I just have a cat, that's why I'm doing it.
When I say I told Gainesville PD, I just told them on Twitter. I just said, dear Gainesville PD, just like, this is what I do. I've been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah, and I mean...
let us explain to you why we're here, right?
Okay.
From our point of view. So New York Police Department contacted us They
Right.
just want to make sure that you're here and not a direct threat in New York, because you know how they do over there in New York. They get a little spooked and with their terrorism and all that. So
Yeah.
they have a whole squad that deals with that. They just wanted us to make sure that you are here, not in New York,
Yeah.
where, you know, when somebody, according to the post, but we haven't seen it, so we don't know what the post is. We're
Right.
just following up for them.
Right.
So what we want to make sure is, according to the post that they saw, as long as you're not in New York, you don't pose a direct threat to New York.
Right, exactly. I wouldn't
That's
do that
all-
in New York, trust
That's
me.
all they want to hear about. And
Yeah.
in terms of, you know, they wanted us to see a well-being check. Are you good? Do you want to go to a hospital?
No, no, no.
Okay,
I'm
so
cool.
then in that case, we're good.
Yeah.
You're here, you're not there, which is what we came here to see.
Oh, I'm fine. Yeah, I wouldn't do that in New York because I know how they react. I'm trying to prevent something, and they go, "Well, how do you have this knowledge?" And you know, it turns out I was kind of right. I said there's pharmaceutical problems, and it was a guy it was the head of United Healthcare that was actually murdered in the morning right next to Rockefeller Center. I was worried about the tree lighting. That's all. It seemed like a lot of stuff was coming together. I just have bad vibes, is all.
Okay.
And I just said, look, I'd rather put it out there. I know I might be, accused of stuff or whatever, but I'd rather get information out there on the net in case I could be helpful, and that's cool.
Is there
So
anything else you need from us?
no, that's cool. Thank you. I'm glad it was. Thank you for explaining that to me. I'm here. I'm not there, and yeah, I'm
Thank you,
great.
Mark.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Bye. Yes.
Okay, so same crap happening now when I put my shit out there, throwing spaghetti against the wall, especially when I title it and I say there's going to be a bombing or a shooting or I'm getting bad vibes, then they'll send the police at me. Now, the ones who came, this is an opportunity, by the way, is whoever is calling it in and pretending like it just depends on who's calling it in, but a lot of times somebody who is saying I am the threat or I am the problem, they need to be investigated themselves. Those are probably the ones that are probably the ones who are behind this thing as well. So who knows? I'm just saying, dear Gainesville PD, I'm fine, don't come. And if I were in LA, I'd probably be in jail by now, arrested, just for, not because I did anything illegal, but because it's swampland and I'm the enemy, so they're going to throw me in jail. These guys, I'm glad I'm in Florida. I'm glad I'm in Gainesville PD. We'll see how that goes. But I think that's been going on lately a little bit, and it's fine. We're okay, guys. You just look at all this. Just look at my online stuff. And as I said in the video, it's worth. I'm not going to back down. I'm just going to keep going at it because it feels like we're making tons of progress. So that is that. That's what's going on here. Okay. Also, earlier, this one that I posted, I said that there was some problems and that I was worried about Kirby Gwen because she didn't come on, and they had like all this weather stuff instead. And then also Chris didn't come on either, and they had weather stuff instead. And I think, while I think a lot of it is related to just cleaning out and purging and getting to the bottom of all the crap over there at Walmart Radio, I think they're using the excuse now that it's weather related because there's supposedly this big, weather thing coming on. That is defense contractor swamp. The swamps are imploding, and then some will emerge more than others. There'll be attempts at plane crashes that we had this week. They failed. Probably attempts at bombing from the religion swamp and the pedophile swamp now somewhere, and especially at Walmart Radio. That possibly failed, and now we're getting the defense contractor swamp. Remember last year at this time, the defense contractor swamp, the Democratic half of the defense contractor swamp that they do the weather shit, they did that whole big old fire in LA. So this is just the defense contractor swamp now doing the same shit with the big, big cold ice thing. It's a great emergency. It's the end of the world. It's just butt fuckers jizzing all over, just having jizz parties over emergencies. They just love it, especially when they're imploding and they're panicking, and they just this is how they lash out. So this is the same thing. There's not going to be a big old freeze, and it's not the end of the world. It is for them, because their swamps are imploding. They're not going to be able to, suck baby dicks anymore. That's the big thing. The infantophiles now are just really, so it's coming to a head, and this is the battle, and people need to recognize there's a battle going on. Okay, so So that's what's going on at Walmart Radio. I hope everything's okay, but I'm going to keep pressing this. They haven't played anything since, but I did recognize some shit going on down there. That's all. So I played that. I'm going to close that down. I need to start closing some stuff. So yeah, that's what happened today, is just a reversal of yesterday, and it really underlined or underscored Coca-Cola as a pedophile swamp flagship stock. I'm going to need this to go through Coca-Cola and some other things. I think I'm going to close this. I'll keep it just in case. So, okay. Here comes my cat. Hi. Okay, sorry. Just can't step on my laptop. Dear police, by the way, don't knock on my door. You could just go around the back. I think you know where I am. I'm just like the last apartment on the ground floor over here. You could park right there. Just come knock on my window. I get PTSD at my other apartment over there. It's the same complex kind of. It was just a different apartment. I loved it because you could see anybody coming to knock on your door, and I cannot stand knocks on my door. So I saw the police, and then it was just fantastic. I was not tense when I heard the knock. I wasn't all tense. I knew it was them. I very calmly went and opened the door. But now if I hear knocks, and I don't know if I just knew, I had a feeling, but I just didn't answer this time, and I don't think my roommates answered. Just don't come knock on my front door at 8 and 9 at night. Are you kidding me? Were you trying to make a scene in front of my? I mean, if that was police the other night knocking at 8 or 9 at night, they are definitely, somebody is a butt fucker over there in the Gainesville PD. There's not a lot of them, but you need to air them out, because that's a butt fucker move. To come knock on my door at 8 at night when you know my roommates are going to possibly be here to like question me in front of them. I hate that shit. It's butt fucker shit. And whoever sent them, if they sent police at that time, right at that time, instead of, at a decent hour in the middle of the day, or just don't even bother me. We've been through this, okay? You know what I'm doing, and I'm here. I've been working at, I work at Lowe's for over a year now, and I have a set schedule. But you can come knock on my window. It's right here. The cats just came in, and I'll just show you my ID, whatever it is. We could talk through the window, and I'll see what you're doing. I'm not going to answer the door, okay? And I don't think my roommates do. Anyway, the cat just came in. I was going to show it if you can see I don't know if you can see the window over there. Whatever. Okay, just come back there. There was a black guy there the other night, and he wanted to sit. There's a little chair out there, and he wanted to sit on the chair, and I kind of frightened him. I mean, I said, "Hey, wait, what's going on? No, don't take my chair." He says, "I don't want to take your chair. I wanted to sit on it." I said, "No, my cats need that to come into the cat door." So, and then he will. So he's like a homeless guy, I think. And I'm not. If it were a white male, I would be very afraid. I'm not afraid of black homeless people at all. They're just not. It didn't frighten me at all. Okay, when you know who the enemy is and who to fear, then whatever. Okay, so blah blah blah. I'm gonna possibly edit this out. So during Gay Nazi Tobacco Swamp Pedophile Hunting Part 4, I mentioned a lot of potential pedophile swamp stocks. Flagship stocks that we could monitor to see what's going on with the pedophile swamp. They are up right now. They're starting to go down, and these are going to all go down. But okay, so that was, and Coca-Cola was one of them, and Procter and Gamble was another one, and they're now front and center after what's going on in this. So I'm going to close that. Then the next day, that was last Friday, and then I think yesterday morning, just in passing, I did a do not poo-poo this alert, crowdsourcing rules. They might bomb. Look at the title of this. Do not poo-poo this alert, crowdsourcing rules. Gay Nazi pedos might bomb Walmart Radio or the KC concert. I'm onto this right now. Gay Nazi tobacco swamp pedophile hunting part 6 tomorrow or the next day is going to cover this one a lot and give a lot of leads to who might be behind this. I've been avoiding doing this for a long time, and you're going to understand why when you see what I'm saying. It's like, it's not very nice, I think. Maybe not. We'll see. But I don't know. I got to get it out there, you guys. But just in passing, I added, here I am, I'm adding Salesforce, a Lowe's and Home Depot to look into. And I had some notes from from Stranger Things mixed in there. It was just a bit messy, and I didn't display this for this reason. It just flashed quickly, and I just wanted to show you that I had added Salesforce onto the list. Why did I add Salesforce? Well, okay, just quickly, when I was in the San Francisco Bay Area and they were building the Salesforce Tower in San Francisco, my kids laugh at me. I said, I always thought Salesforce was tobacco swamp. Their CEO, Mark Benioff, is gay. That's usually an indication of a swamp.
On the cloud and now AI. How has the CEO job changed for you?
Well, the CEO job is really changing fast, because it used to be I felt very alone at the top. But now, like, I just finished writing the business plan for this year.
Okay, so he's gay. He's Mark Benioff. He's the CEO, founder, all that of Salesforce. And I originally thought they were tobacco swamp originally. And it's also a very creepy building there in San Francisco, because I tell my kids were always laughing at me. I said, it's just a big old cigar. It's a big old cigar, tobacco swamp cigar. Because at night, this part at the very top of the building lights up. So it looks like a lit cigar to me. They always think I'm crazy, but it is. And they've since morphed into other stuff like, they've morphed into medical stuff. First of all, Mark Benioff started and funded and runs this whole children's hospital over in Oakland. I used to deliver stretchers there all the time, with Stryker stretchers when I was working for Stryker. And it's just something about that, like St. Jude's, like the tobacco swamp in particular, focuses on children's hospitals. It's a little bit pedophile-y, I think, now that I look at it. I always had a connection between the tobacco swamp and St. Jude's Hospital in Memphis. Every time a tobacco song played on the radio for a while, right after or right before, there'd be an advertisement for St. Jude's. It's the same thing here. Whenever I'm on YouTube and it says St. Jude's this or St. Jude's that, it's always like some swamp. It's usually some tobacco swampy stuff, related video. So they are tightly related. And now Mark Benioff, gay, tobacco, whatever, and the children's hospital, medical, I don't know. I mean, it all comes together and it makes sense. Just, it's pedophile too. Having a gay, internet company, gay run internet company. And this is what, when you say that you have this army of gay Nazis online, this is Salesforce. This is what Salesforce does. I think they're online. They're doing all sorts of online shit, So it's a very swampy company, I think, and we'll go through the stock on this later. I think it's a pedophile company, swamp company, and I think the stock will go down for this as well. But this cracks me up. I just wanted to show the whole Salesforce building. Oh, I did deliver there once in Salesforce Tower, building, San Francisco. So I delivered there once, and it was the strangest thing I've ever seen. It's a huge building, and there's no way to deliver there. And it was empty and strange and creepy. And I got a very bad vibe, and I kept like, oh, please don't work there. I was telling my kids and all their friends, never work there, because I just have a bad vibe that they're going to eventually fly a plane into this thing, because it's empty. It's probably losing a lot of money. They can't fill it. It's just like the World Trade Center towers. So something bad's going to happen to that damn tower at some time. And during the Super Bowl in 2024, I said they're going to fly a plane into this thing, and I was just having fits about that. I just do not like the vibes I got. I couldn't believe how difficult it was to try to deliver something there. They don't have like a loading dock where you can deliver something in such a huge building. So then you go into the reception area, and they're just clueless. Like, oh, the person has to come down and get it. You're not allowed to go up there. And like, what the hell? Is just a medical thing like this, and I've never had more trouble delivering to a place than there. It's almost like there's nobody there. It's a fake thing, you know. It just felt strange. It felt empty, strange, creepy, and I just don't like Salesforce. Period. Bye. Okay. So, but Salesforce came up for. So Salesforce was on there. Why? Because this is where we throw spaghetti against the wall. One of the things is I monitor the Kelly Clarkson show. Baby girl, I just want to go through this very quickly to show you my typical when I'll watch a full week's worth of the show. I take screenshots, and I haven't had a chance to go back up and comment on it. It's because I'm just gathering information and I need to keep going. But like for instance, we had Arden Cho last week, and she's from the K-pop Demon Hunters cartoon, and I never knew anything about this thing. And I ended up watching it and got a lot of information from this. I hope you don't. I hope you go at least another season, because I just get so much information, good and bad. I get like it's a magnet for the pedophiles, yes, but it's also a lot of good stuff comes from it, and I'm learning a lot. And I just hope you can be safe and get another year out of this. Okay, I know they're doing a lot of gay Nazi purging there at NBC, and they're really bad. The stock is looking horrible, and it's going to depend on Trump. Actually, let's do this real fast. Let's just look at that stock while we're here. Okay, Comcast. So I was looking at this earlier. Let's just do this fast. I did see a line, and it goes like this. I mean, it's not a support line. Well, it could be a negative support line. So, I mean, seriously, it still has some downside to it, I think, baby girl, the stock. If you're getting stock options, I'm not sure, but it might bounce. I'm going to say it's going to go down to 20 before it bounces. And then I don't know if it's going out of business completely, but maybe if it bounces off 20, we'll see. But it has a lot of downside left, the stock. If part of your deal, if you want to redo a contract, is stock options, I'm just letting you know what the stock's going to be doing. And it's just the ugliest graph I've ever seen. I mean, not ever, but it's an ugly graph, and Trump is in charge, and he could break up the whole company. But stay on the show if you can. Don't ask for too much money. It's like the WNBA, man. There's a lot of purging, and when the company is purging the gay Nazis, they're not going to have money. I mean, they're purging for the future, but the gay Nazis who have been robbing the company blind with every fraud under the planet, bleeding it dry. When they leave, they're going to do one last bleeding and one last pull, and they're going to do stuff like not allow you to have clearances on the karaoke's and this kind of shit. And it's just, if you can stay there and survive one more year safely, that would be great, though. But don't demand too much money. They don't have it, and you're not going to get it. So, and stock options, whatever it is, if you like what you're doing, and I think you are really helping advance world peace in a lot of ways, even though a lot of the charities that you're supporting on there are swampy and pedophile based and shit like that, will eventually clear that out. But you also have some good stuff going on there. Okay, but it will go down to 20 probably, and possibly bankrupt completely, but 20 is the next thing I'm watching. So but let me just get on this tangent here. I'm going to run through this because this is going to last an hour when we go through everything. But I'll go through. I'm watching. I said, this is very interesting, this K-pop Demon Hunters. I watched it, and then I took a picture of it because I wanted to go watch it. And then you did Best in Class, which is that's a good series. But then right after that, I also will screenshot some not all the commercials, but I'll do T-Mobile because I just want to see who's supporting you. And I haven't seen Salesforce, Matthew McConaughey, for a long time, and all of a sudden he's coming up here, and we're just talking about Matthew McConaughey here, this and that, and now he's here. And he and Woody Harrelson do Salesforce commercials. Okay? So that's swampy to me. That to me triggered and solidified that Salesforce is a pedophile swamp, because they're coming and they're advertising this week while the pedophile swamps are imploding on your show, and they have like, and it's yes, the K-pop is, this one is a gay creation, and it is pedophilia in a way in that it's kids again, but it's not bad. I mean, baby girl, it's pedophile related in that you're going to, if where there's kids and where there's cartoon whatever, and your show, if your show meets cartoons and kids, there's going to be pedophiles all over this thing. So of course we got pedophile Salesforce here sponsoring this segment. Okay, so Matthew McConaughey, related to the stuff going on at Walmart, and here he is showing up many, many times. But let's just keep going and see what happens. This guy's gay, and I'm experiencing homelessness. And usually you have this segment where everybody cries because these guys will talk to the people and say they appreciate them. And this just did not, it's just, no, this was, I didn't like it. It's just like, get rid of the gay. I don't want this gay guy. He was insincere. Oh yeah, I did this. And then he shows them dancing, and, he's sticking his dick up somebody's ass over there to get on this show. And just, no, just knock it off with the gay, whatever. Okay, the gay charity shit. Just no. Okay, that's bad. Lawrence Zarian is gay, but he's a good gay, but still gay everywhere. But it's a good segment. And then you end the whole thing with the cutest thing I have ever seen. This is so cute. This girl teaching her father English. They are so sweet. Like, that was like all that other shit. This made up for it times 10, baby girl. Just keep going if you can, because the good outshines the bad, and it's just going to get better and better. This year especially, this week, this month, this hour, it's just going very quickly. So if you could hang in there, I'm going to help you through it, but I hope you can go another year, because I need it at least one more year. I need season 8 and then go away. But if you can do it safely. If they're so then this thing where they're not letting you do karaoke's, that's butt fucker shit going on. But then they have Gabby Simone doing it. But then right after this, Gabby Simone must be Tobacco Swamp or something, or Religion Swamp. There's a T-Mobile commercial. Okay, these two guys, I forget his name. These two, and then fine. Every time there's a T-Mobile commercial, it's swampy to me, the religion swamp. But something just recently happened. Oh, and Subway is definitely pedophile. I mean, Jared, come on, you guys. So we have pedophiles here, Subway. Subway sponsor, and then you came back. But then, guess what? All of a sudden, this week, for the first time in like years, I think, I don't know, I haven't seen a Verizon. They're competitors for T-Mobile, and now they're coming up. And this is a good sign, baby girl. Okay, this is a good sign, and I'll show you in a minute why. But I'm just showing you what I do. So the next person is Danielle Steele. I didn't know she was a redhead. That's related. Elderly. Wow, she's 82, doing great though. A Jewish redhead. So that's interesting to me. Anytime I'm seeing redheads, I'm just putting it out there. The gay Nazi pedophiles love them, and they're sponsoring her on this one. And then also the same show, you had this person, Cave Town. We had Daniel Steele. Oh, Sadie Sink was really good too. Why didn't I record her? And this was a good show. But another thing I learned, she's on Strange Things. Well, I can't even Stranger Things. I can't even get the thing. I can't even get the name now. Anyway, she's on there, and then she seemed like a really serious actress, a little redheaded girl, and she was really sweet. It was just one of these things where it's like I watched the whole series, and she was fine, but I learned some stuff that was nice. That was very pertinent, and I like that she's going to be a great actress, because you could tell she's going back to the theater, and she wants to be like a serious actress, or she is a serious actress. So it was sweet. It was good to see that. I'm glad. I think she's going to be okay, but I'm trying to protect redheads in particular, so I'm gonna tomorrow or the next day when I do gay Nazi pedophiles, gay Nazi tobacco swamp pedophile hunting part 6, I'm gonna talk about some things that redheads could do, or just everybody to be careful. Young celebrity females, all celebrity females. We'll see. Or some stuff that might have already happened and whatever redheads, but anyway, this redhead here, Cave Town, is a born male transitioning to female, but claiming to be a female transitioning to male. This is common from Canada, I believe, and this is the person who booked this person on here is related to a potential bombing happening at your show in March. You need to find this butt fucking piece of shit who booked Cave Town on your show and get fucking rid of them. They are dangerous. They are pedophile, infantophile, whatever it is. Get rid of them. And they're probably associated with your little redheaded Andy kid in a lot of ways. Okay? So I'm just telling you. Why do I say this? Well, this has happened before, and it's happened in the past, and it has to do with NBC again. The same person did this to Ariana Grande, who had a bombing done. The person who was involved in the Ariana Grande bombing in Manchester, in England, and these guys come from Canada. That person comes from Canada, and this one is the same thing. This person was slated to become Ariana Grande's voice contestant, whatever it is. The name is Sasha Allen. It's a made-up gay name because they wanted to match this guy with Sasha Allen, who's kind of a famous singer. Like if you look up the name Sasha Allen, you come up with a singer, a black singer, who isn't this person. So it's a made-up gay name. These guys are lovers, born male, transitioning to female, and they're claiming it's a female transitioning to male. Now what this is they're trying to promote transition drugs and making it, oh, look how well it works. So trannies will trans people will look at this and go, wow, the transitioning drugs really do work. This really looks like a guy. And they'll do the same thing with this person. Okay, this is fucking bullshit. Okay, listen to this.
To be here and being on The Voice was so incredible. We are so excited to be here, and being on The Voice was so incredible. It was amazing. It was a whirlwind. You know, I was shocked to get through the blind auditions. I didn't.
So this is a gay male. This is a gay male. Period. This is not a transitioning female. That's not what they sound like. That's not what they look like. That's not what they act like. Okay, this is. And I went, and these two are lovers, by the way. This isn't father-son. These are lovers. They're from Canada. You can't get any kind of background on them. And they pulled the wool over Ariana Grande's eyes. And they are, because Canada is also, Canada's money has the Queen of England on it. Okay, so there is a connection between England and Canada that way. But there is a connection between this and the bombing in Manchester at the Ariana Grande concert. And these fucking lying pieces of shit, and NBC, okay? NBC, Ellen DeGeneres, this whole thing, this all related. You need to find the person who booked this person on NBC The Voice, and who booked that other person on the Kelly Clarkson show. That is your butt fucking violent person who's gonna be planning a bombing and who's also doing all sorts of shit behind the scenes. All that needs to be purged. All right, so that's that. Goodbye, Sasha. I was all over this in 2021 when he was on The Voice pretending to be a trans woman, a trans man. Ooh, look at that. The transitioning drugs work really well. I mean, no, that is a gay man, and they're you guys need to put the goddamn X, Y, or X on the fucking driver's license once and for all. This fucking bullshit. This is an XY. End of story. Fucking shit. And dangerous. The people around this. Alright? So, that's that. Why did I go on that tangent? Because I'm going to cover that later. But I just wanted to show you all the information I get from you, and I just kept going. Oh my God, that dog was so cute. I love this. I love the ending one, and then Verizon again. All right, and then you went. Okay, so I just wanted to show you. We went T-Mobile, we went Verizon, and then T-Mobile, and then Verizon. So that's a good sign. This is a good sign. We're gonna do the stocks. It's a good sign that Verizon's coming in because there's Verizon, there's AT&T, and there's T-Mobile. And I already pegged T-Mobile as a complete religion swamp stock because if your stock is going okay and then all of a sudden it takes off for no particular reason in August of 2020, in October of 2023, when that whole BS shit, fake stuff happened in Israel, that kind of shit, that's religion swamp, and religion swamp got money, and then they're imploding now. But the good thing is, it's almost, I believe, unless it's going out of business. Let me do this. I don't care, guys. It's gonna take a while. I just need to throw spaghetti against the wall. Okay, baby girl, that's what we're gonna do. So T-Mobile, I was saying, oh, this is an indication of a swampy. Let's go here. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to say it's going to go down to here. So it still has some down to go, but it's almost purged. We're almost purged. Not really. I'm going to say we're going to go down to, I'm predicting all the pedophile and religion swamp implosions and where they're going. So T-Mobile is going to go to 120-ish and either bounce or go out of business and break apart and all that stuff. So they're purging, at least they're purging. Where are they? They're 183. They're going to go down to around 120 in the next few months. Okay, this is the year of the pedophile swamp imploding. This is a religion swamp, but yeah, the religion swamp is also imploding. But the religion swamp together with the tobacco swamp, the religion tobacco is going to do any kind of bombing, and they're just going out of business here. So we're doing some purging. But even better than that is something I wanted to say about Verizon. Let's just do AT&T real fast. So AT&T is the ugliest of the three. I don't know what to say about that. They're going out of business. I don't know what to tell you. I'm looking at their graph. Forget AT&T, guys. I don't know what it's doing. Unless Trump wants to save it, this is where it's going. It's just going out of business. It's going to break up or do something. They can't. It's religion swamp, first of all. It's going way up as of October 2023. And now it's going to, well, whatever. And it might go out of business. But out of the three, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon is not only on the Dow, but Verizon is the least swampy, and they look like they're already going to recover. So in October, they got some money, but not as much as T-Mobile and not as much as AT&T. So it was going down, but it bounced. Guess where it bounced? It bounced on a nice support line. So what I'm doing, just to be sure, is I don't look at this part of it while I'm doing this. I only look at where I'm drawing the line, and I'll extend the line and then see where it ends up. So I'm not looking over to the right yet. I'm focusing on these two, and then I look over here and look at that. It's like I didn't look at that when I made this line. I was looking here and looking here, and it bonk right there. This is gorgeous. I'm saying out of the three, Verizon is the least swampy, and they look like they're going to recover the most. And they're on the Dow. So I'm just saying it was a good sign that, it's just a good sign to me, baby girl, that all of a sudden your show it still has T-Mobile, and there's a lot of swampy shit going on there. But at the same time, your sponsor is now more Verizon, and that's good. And hopefully you'll get other sponsors that are less swampy. So it's positive. I'm seeing a positive change there is what I'm saying. Also, while we're here, while I'm throwing spaghetti against the wall, I told you and Whitney Cummings that I said Pepsi was swampy and now it's recovering. I said General Mills was swampy. These are religion swamp companies and not doing well. And I also said Post was the best because they are like Verizon and that they were least swampy and they're bouncing. No, it's going to be a correction. All three of those, because I did this. Okay, let's do General Mills. Okay, so I have to get the graph bigger. Like I'm at like I come over here, I'm at 125% instead of 100%, and make the line skinny to do this right. So I'm just being very particular now, is what I'm saying. And when I do that, well, here I already figured that out. Okay, so we're gonna do this. I can't even if I do this one. Greatest fan of your life. Thank you, Walmart.
And rain falls angry on the tin roof as we lie awake in my bed. And you're my survival, you're my living proof. My love is alive and not dead. And tell me
that we belong together. Trappings
started really trying to scream at my husband before I discovered this treatment called sex ed or sex control. I swear it's made of sex ed. My husband came back to me.
I'll be
your crying shoulder. I'll be a love suicide. And I'll be
better when I'm older.
I'll be the greatest fan of your life. I dropped out, I burned up, I fought my way back from the dead. Till then, until dawn, remember the thing that you said. I'll be your crying shoulder.
Thank you, Walmart. I love this video I made. One is all I've ever needed. That's for the people listening only by audio or doing transcripts. Okay, I gotta go back to work. Thank you, Walmart Radio. Okay, where was I? So, I have no idea where I was. I'm gonna edit this for sure. I'll be. Oh, right. Verizon. Okay, so it's a good thing, baby girl. It's a good thing. Comcast, ugly. It's fine. Okay, so I just wanted to do Verizon, AT&T, Comcast. Okay, so onward. That's like the first video I posted after 2 years of being suspended on YouTube. Okay, so let's get to no. Oh, by the way, while it's here, John, this happened in, I guess, November. It's all related. The CEO of Walmart is changing from this guy, Doug McMillan, who's run it for like a decade or two or something like that, is now being replaced by John Furner. And both of these guys are not gay, which is a good sign. But then I'm wondering if he's leaving because he stood up to the swamps or because he's not standing up to the swamps. I hope it's because he's not standing up to the swamps, and this guy's going to stand up to the swamps. But whatever. It's a transition. Everybody was shocked by this, but maybe everybody is shocked, and I hope it's a good sign. It is a good sign because we're only heading in one direction, which is world peace. Okay, so I mean, eventually it doesn't really matter who's the head of Walmart. It's going to eventually get purged of its butt fuckers. So anyway, I just wanted to get rid of that. We'll do Verizon in a minute. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. So, okay. So I used to leave my comments in one place here. This one Kelly Clarkson post, "Where have you been?" It was like the remix, because I'm trying to do something like Twitter where you go and you find my comments in one place for convenience, and that's not happening too much. What's happening is I'm commenting mostly at the Whitney Cummings podcast all of a sudden, and it's a lot easier just to comment there than comment and then link it and then go back here. It's just a mess. So that's where a lot of my comments are, and then I come here and I read them. And today's I'm going to read them all because actually I don't know if I'm going to do that first or do the. I'm going to read the comments first and then go through the stocks ad infinitum. Just so you know, before I do this, everything on this list here. Oh, I just discussed T-Mobile versus Verizon, and that's a good thing. Okay, so anyway, the list has changed and morphed, but every company on this list is a swamp stock, and it's going down, and now it's just a matter of how much. And before this video ends, right now I'm going to read all my comments at the Whitney Cummings thing that I just recently did, and then I'm going to go through each of these stocks and do the graphs. It's messy, but if you're interested in where each one of these is heading and where the lines are, you can draw your own lines, but I'll discuss each one of these stocks. Okay, after we're going to go through Whitney Cummings comments because the demon this is what triggered it. Oh my god, this is so cute. We've discussed that. We've discussed the redhead. Subway is pedophile for sure. T-Mobile, even if and with the karaoke's, we gotta stop that shit. I mean, it's not a gotta. It's just if you just hang in there, it's gonna naturally come back, baby girl. They're just after you right now. That was cute. It was the Demon Hunters. Oh, okay, so Salesforce is on the list for several reasons. Is there any other reasons? Yeah. Well, their stock is like. Anyway, I wanted to discuss this one, and I discussed it over at I discussed K-pop Demon Hunters at my comments here, the Good For You podcast, and I'm going to read every comment I did that day, and here it is. Okay.
Active ingredient of Cialis and
Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I'll be there
Okay.
in March.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to sort by newest first. there's been a few comments since then, but there was one period where I was watching this, and I'm going to read all of that right now. I'm going to read it into here, cut it, fast forward it if you want it. This is going to take about 30 minutes. We're going to read all the comments because it's just my thoughts, and it's just like reading my Twitter. And I need this read out loud in case somebody's getting all their information from my videos and transcribing my videos. Okay. This was talking about the K-pop Demon Hunters and how it's related to the Stranger Things. It's very interesting, actually, that I made this connection, and I just recently made it, and because this is related to my video where I was going forward and saying, we're going to have to get rid of the gay gene, or there won't be any more whites, one or the other. But peace is coming, and the only question is, will there be white people or not? I did that video already. Okay, so this is part of it, and it's interesting what's going on and how I'm viewing these things now. It is interesting to me that you are now getting some support I'm saying this to Whitney Cummings, from the defense contractor swamp for this episode. And by that I mean she's talking about the military. She's supporting it. She's talking about it very sexy, like the stealth bomber, was very sexy to her, and she just seemed to be supporting military. She's not against war, but she's against bullies, and if you wonder, everybody's going, how could Trump call that the Defense Department the Department of War? Well, what do you think is the worst thing you could do to a Department of Defense than call it the Department of War? Because that's what it is. So everybody's like, he's such a warmonger. How could you be? It's the opposite of that. If you call it the Defense Department, it sounds all nice and everything. You call it the Department of War, I don't want to give money to that. It was just brilliant. He's just brilliant. He does this shit all the time. Department of War is exactly what that shit is, and we're not going to need it in the future, I hope. Anymore. Like the Department of War, the defense contractor swamp is going to shrink significantly when we're done with world peace. I promise you, you're not going to need it when you get done with the gay gene, okay? Because that's what... Anyway, it is interesting to me that you are now getting... And this is in response to... A couple of weeks ago, I was very upset because she did a full-blown cigarette ad for the tobacco swamp. And I was like, don't do that. Okay, it is interesting to me that you are now getting some support from the defense contractor swamp for this episode. Whatever it takes to get you through 2026 in one piece and in one peace. P-E-A-C-E and P-I-E-C-E. I am far more comfortable with this than the tobacco swamp, as Trump seems to have more control over the defense contractor swamp than any other swamp. For example, did anybody notice no large, costly man-made hurricanes making landfall on the U.S. Last hurricane season? I did. I noticed it. Get used to it. This is our future on the road to inevitable, sustained world peace. Of course, now we've got the big freeze coming. This was 23 hours ago. It's getting worse and worse, but this is like, Trump is on top of this. He's got a lot of shit going down, but he could be either allowing it or just let him do his shit. This shit isn't going to happen in the future where you have all this, extreme weathers and man-made. This whole cold front is all man-made. Okay? When things get super confusing, just remember the real enemy. When things get super confusing... Okay. When things get super confusing, just remember the real enemy is the gay gene and its creations, like the 16th Amendment. The gay gene needs to go and will go, or at least will be understood and contained, on the road to inevitable, sustained world peace. The only thing we can sort of control is how messy it is going to be getting from point A to point B. The least messy route is the route Trump is taking, in my humble opinion, whatever that is. And he might be making mistakes, but if anybody's going to make mistakes that I want to make mistakes, it's him. Like, he's going to be taking risks and doing things, but just give him some leeway and let him do his thing. He's going to get us there better than anybody else. Even the closeted gay Duffer Brothers they're the creators of Stranger Things. Even the closeted gay Duffer Brothers seem to have captured this gay gene problem, albeit accidentally, in their Stranger Things series when they depicted the gay gene getting introduced into the human genome through some mysterious orb or whatever that was in the suitcase, which is a lot like Pulp Fiction, I guess. They were copying that. But it was some mysterious orb burning through a young Henry's hand in a cave. So that was the gay gene, and it got introduced into the humans through Henry in that cave. The same quote-unquote evil from within that needs to be understood and purged by the whole. That's what Stranger Things was all about. They're like, Elle wanted to kill the whole thing off by killing herself. She needed to purge all of humankind from the gay gene, is what that was. And she didn't, and she should have probably. They shouldn't have saved her because, well, I don't know if it's possible. Well, it makes it more possible. I don't know even if she killed herself if it's possible to get rid of this thing. But anyway, that was the whole metaphor. That was the whole thing. With that, and they didn't realize this is what they were doing, but this is how I'm interpreting it, and it's exactly what's going on. They just didn't know because they're gay creators. To be understood and purged. Anyway, the same quote-unquote evil from within that needs to be understood and purged by the whole, everybody has to be involved, is also portrayed in K-pop Demon Hunters, the K-pop Demon Hunters cartoon. This is, that was all evil from within. This isn't typical Marvel what we grew up with. Many kids aren't going to relate that well to this. It's gays maybe will relate to this when grown gays will relate to this probably, but it isn't like the kids are like, I don't think this is as popular as people are making it. They're pushing, but it's like, or maybe they will relate, but this thing where the evil is within everybody, and it's not anybody's fault. Like the times I even wrote it down at some point. I said, if I have to put up with one more freaking teenager saying it's not their fault, or somebody saying it's not your fault, that's not your fault in that thing, it's like somebody take responsibility. But in the end, it was telling because it's not your fault. The gay gene is not your fault. But there's a balance. You can't just say because I'm gay or because of I got the gay gene, or even if you're sick or you're this or somebody died, you can't use that as a crutch or an excuse for your behavior. Okay? To a certain extent you can, and we can attenuate that, like people who are kids, it's not their fault when they're circumcised and then they grow up a certain way. We have to not do that. It's not their fault, but it is if they're going to, this will give you the excuse to, your rights were taken away early on, and when your rights are taken away that way, especially something having to do with sexuality, your penis, or being spanked, everything that's younger, you're going to want to take the rights away of everybody else, kind of, and we need to break that cycle. Well, first of all, stop taking away the rights at an early age, but it's a cycle, and it's going to be broken. Anyway, it was in the K-pop Demon Hunters cartoon. This is all gay-created content, all of that. That is saying the same thing, which is the gay gene is a problem that is not the fault of anybody, but it needs to be understood by everybody and then purged or managed somehow. That's what they did in this thing. It's not your typical good versus evil in the Stranger Things and in the K-pop. It's the evil within, and they're seeing the good in that. Remember, he says you could be good. You can't. Everybody can. You learn when you talk to kids. Everybody is good. They just have bad behaviors and this kind of thing. It's all psychological. But this is interesting how both of these things are the evil from within, and it's not your fault, and it came from somewhere else. It's just mysterious. It just is there. It's like it is devil versus God kind of thing, isn't it? But not. It's different. It's different from the you're born. Everybody. It's like the Christianity thing is everybody is born a sinner. And it's like, no, everybody is born innocent. And even the gays are born innocent, but they have a tendency to, everybody is a sinner. Also, they're not separating out the gays from the non-gays. It's not everybody. They are different, and we need to separate them out and manage it. Okay. Regarding international politics, which she discussed, it's great because I used to do this topics. This is what I've been doing most of my adult life, is reading news topics and then commenting on them. I did this at USA Today, and a lot of stuff comes out, and I form a lot of my theories, and it's like, what do you do? What is your talent? This is my freaking talent, and she's prompting me for this. Like, it would be, the Kelly Clarkson Show does a little bit of that, but not as much as Whitney Cummings. So this is where I'm commenting now. I just naturally came here because she's prompting me the way like USA Today did, or the way I used to be on Twitter, and the way my Wordle muses prompt me. Regarding international politics, there isn't a country in the world currently that can thrive economically without U.S. taxpayer money being laundered through Congress in large trade imbalances with that country. So I think I've written like Sweden, the trade imbalance with Sweden is $7 billion a year, and there's very scammy that way. So that's $7 billion a year going from taxpayer money indirectly and all that, but it's taxpayer money going to Sweden and laundered back, so that half of it goes into Congress and half of it goes to Sweden, something like that. And that's every country in the world. We have 400 billion going to China that way, where 200 goes to the Chinese and all, like Tim Waltz and all those programs he's doing over there with the pedophile shit, and then 200 going back to Congress. And that's your taxpayer money. And it's done through scams like trade imbalances and the Paris Accord and this kind of shit. So every time Trump mentions tariffs, he's usurping that. And every time he mentions that, everybody having a fit against the tariffs is a pedophile, or they're controlled by them, or a gay Nazi. Yeah, they're gay Nazi pedophiles. They're having fits because this is breaking them up for the first time in a few millennia, in 12,000 years. So this is very important stuff with the tariffs. Okay, there isn't a country, and it's all through this stuff. Taking a large trade imbalance. Taking down the 16th Amendment in the U.S. and drying out this international cash cow without world economic collapse is not as easy as Trump is making it look. It's a lot easier to just trust Trump on this without telling people that is what you are doing. Like, that's what I'm doing. It's hard. You don't go out, you don't try to convince everybody. Like, I'm not going to argue with anybody. They're going to say, well, what about Venezuela? Well, what about Venezuela? I'm just going to go to work every day and do my little part in trying to expose gay Nazis at Walmart and this kind of shit. I don't know what the hell is going on in Venezuela. I mean, Trump does. Nobody has information. Nobody has the information he has. So you can't make any kind of decisions, and you're going to have to trust him, and you do this all the time when you have to trust the politician. But out of everybody, I trust whatever he's doing, because it's not like he can follow any kind of laws at this point. And you're saying, oh, well, that's Nazism. It's like, yeah, well, that takes one to, I guess, fight one. But he's trying to take down the 16th Amendment, and there's going to be massive pushback on this. And he's the art of the deal. He's got several things going. He does 40 chess moves. He's fighting 40 congressmen who are closeted. 40 senators out of 100 are closeted gay, and the other ones are run by closeted gay aides and things. I mean, good luck. I can't even handle one. My ex-gay, my gay baby daddy, my ex. I mean, that guy, he could just sign anything. If he wants me arrested, he'll just fake some kind of an arrest warrant anywhere, and the Gainesville PD, will eventually arrest me, I guess. When he works on him, sends him here, and it's just amazing. This is one. He's got the same birthday as Trump, which cracks me up. You talk about coincidences. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think there's something else going on there. But because he taught me everything I'm learning about gay Nazis. He's not one, but I mean about gays and their behavior. And now I'm using all that information to teach Trump. It's cracking me up how this worked out. Anyway, so my take is that Maduro and his wife. It's a lot easier. So I don't know what this Maduro. I don't care. I never knew anything about him. My take is that Maduro and his wife were airlifted out of that situation by Trump, the same way Rob Reiner and his wife were airlifted out of Hollywood. These are just talented, regular, non-slimy people who got caught up in major gay Nazi buttfuckery, like everybody, including me, and Trump is saving them because they have useful skills and knowledge that will help Trump navigate his way on the road to inevitable, sustained world peace. I'm not going to have an opinion on this. I don't know shit. And the people who say they do, they don't know shit. When he comes and says, oh, well, my brother told me this and that, and it's like, your brother doesn't know shit either. You know, at nothing. He knows nothing. Nothing important. I mean, if you don't know, if you don't understand that the most important thing we could do right now is take down the 16th Amendment, then you don't know shit. At least I know that much. I'm not, the how I don't know. That's what I'm talking about. Like, whatever Trump is doing, that is his main goal, is to take down the 16th Amendment and run the country on input from tariffs instead of federal income taxes. When I say take down the 16th Amendment, I'm saying take down federal income taxes, because that's just corruption, and run the country the way it was originally set up. Okay? By the original founding fathers who knew better. They knew how to, so that's all. But that, it sounds easy. That's the problem. It's just getting from point A to point B, and criticizing Trump. If you don't know that that is the main problem and the main goal to get to that, then get the fuck out of my way. Get out of my way, because he is doing it. He's achieving it. I predicted he would be doing that in 2016. 10 years ago, I said we need to take down the 16th Amendment, blah, 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 blah. The great Dred Scott fraud. And then I said this in 2017. I said this is what Trump is doing. It's in all sorts of legal filings. Okay, and this is what he's doing. How did I know that? Well, because, I know a hell of a lot more than most of you guys out there criticizing Trump. All of you, okay? So unless you have some kind of suggestion on how he can do that better, instead of saying, oh, well, he's breaking this law. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is, what law? There's no law but the Constitution, and that has been broken. So we are not running under anything right now since 1913. So once you take the 16th Amendment down and fix the Constitution that way, that was broken by all these amendments, then you can tell me about laws and him following the law on this person and that person, whatever. All right. So comment number 3. My Google Photos folder automatically takes my photos and makes little movies, and it is usually 5 years ago today or 10 years ago today. So maybe she was wondering why everybody was being nostalgic for 2016. She thought it had something to do with Trump, and then her producer said, no, it has something to do with being 10 years ago, and then it made sense, but it's both, I think. As usual, while being fully aware of the invasion of privacy by Google, and that they take my photos and put it together, some AI does this, I know that's an invasion of privacy. I'm loving the product of that invasion, like when I started using Google Maps as a truck driver and have never looked back, despite Google knowing exactly where I am at all times. When you use Google Maps, Google has to know where you are. This is probably part of why everybody is suddenly posting about 2016, though you are also onto something, that it was a critical year in human history, having to do with the election of Trump, despite it being the most corrupt election in history, and against Trump. That guy won by way more votes, and they almost had Hillary winning that thing by the most corrupt election in history. And definitely the popular vote was corrupt, and by them doing that mistake at the end, I was able to detect exactly the 6 cities that did this in. Like, there were 6 major cities that almost elected our whole president just from their corruption. And that's the one thing that the Electoral College was set up against. It was like everybody's going, well, look, the person won the popular vote but didn't win the election. We need to get rid of the electoral vote. And it's like, no, when that happens, that is a sign of corruption. When a person wins when a person wins the popular vote, but they did not win the election through the electoral votes, that is corruption. That is corruption being usurped. That's what the Electoral College is for and what it does. And I think that was the biggest margin of popular vote and still losing. So that's why I'm saying it was the most corrupt election in history. Because it was the biggest margin of like 2 million votes and she still lost. And everybody's saying, oh, well, it's just like when everybody was like, we found the grave of Shakespeare, finally. We found the grave of Shakespeare. And, and then they dig this person up and it's a female and they say, oh, that's not Shakespeare. It's like, duh, Shakespeare was a woman. I mean, it's so stupid when people, anyway, I don't know. I always said Shakespeare was a woman, and then they come up with this thing, like even before that, and then they found the grave, and I said, oh, it's going to be a woman, and then it was a woman, and they said, oh, that's not Shakespeare's grave. Instead of saying Shakespeare was a woman, they'll say it's not Shakespeare's grave. Like, on what planet do they have evidence that Shakespeare was a man? Do they have any evidence of that? I mean, I don't, seriously, other than them saying it. And nowadays, I mean, look at this. We have all modern technology, all communication, and we cannot get it fucking straight who is a man and who is a woman. So you can imagine what was going on back then, how easy it was to fool people when the gay Nazis had their, felt like they wanted to. But the women aren't gay Nazis though, so I'm not 100% sure of that, but it was funny. It's the same thing here. It's like, oh, anyway, the Electoral College did its job, despite being the most corrupt elections. Okay. Laugh out loud, Navy SEAL Robert O'Neill. This was funny too. She's really on point in this episode. Navy SEAL Robert O'Neill, the closeted gay redhead who supposedly shot bin Laden, shot a dead man in the eye. Bin Laden had passed away from kidney failure, so the CIA, after running the dialysis machine that kept bin Laden alive for decades, called in the Navy to dispose of the body. Remember the quick at-sea burial? Laughing my fucking ass off at that. It was something like that. I'm throwing spaghetti against the wall, but I'd love to give you a link to the tweet I posted about it the day it happened, saying exactly what I just said, and in parentheses, I rarely have to correct my spaghetti against the wall tweets, because I'm usually right. This is what happened. But all that's gone for now, and when I say for now, I think hopefully it'll be like YouTube. I thought I lost all these videos, and then one day I discovered that they reinstated my account and all these videos, like 10 years worth, just came up, and they didn't delete any of them. I didn't have copies of most of them, and there's my life. They just saved Google. I am going to, just like Walmart, I love you. I love your Google Maps. I love everything about you. I love your Google Docs. I love that you're saving all my shit, even though you're invading my privacy, and we will definitely settle like Walmart very quickly once my lawsuits get going. Because of that, I wouldn't have a lawsuit if you didn't put you did some bad shit, and they did write me a note saying we've made mistakes when they reinstated my account. So they're gonna have to explain what those mistakes were, because not in a bad way, because I'm trying to expose the players behind this. Not just Google is a great company, but they have some gay Nazi butt fuckers, and they needed to purge them, and maybe they have already. At YouTube and at other places, Twitter's the same thing. Every company, you need to figure that out, and I'll help you with that if you just let me. Just look at how they treated me, and you find out who they are. It's kind of easy. I'm kind of like the guinea pig. What is that? The bait. Remember during Stranger Things at the very end? So everybody, apparently, their favorite is this Nancy Wheeler. And it's because I think she turned kind of MAGA at the end. She wanted, she liked guns, and she did this, and then she was like the who's going to be the bait? She says, I will, and then all of a sudden when you see a commercial, it's her. That, like, out of all those kids in there, they picked her for the commercial for the Discover card. And that everybody seemed to like Nancy Wheeler as far as the commercial, because Elle is a little bit controversial and she was very serious to the whole thing. The and the other character played by Sadie, she's fine too, but she's not as, she didn't have the touch. Oh, and then the other one too, the one that she was funny too though. There was one, the funny character, the gay girl. She was funny. So, but Nancy Wheeler wasn't too funny, wasn't too serious, and then everybody liked her, so that's why they picked her for a commercial. Why am I saying this? Because I'm the bait. I'm kind of like the Nancy Wheeler character. It was like, I'll be the bait. come after me. But Whitney Cummings was saying, I would go to these charities, I would do this, I would do all this work, and I would hand off the work. It was like she did the hard work, or she did her job, and then it would just fall flat. And I felt like that for the longest time. When I would be arrested for shit, I would go, did anybody see the massive corruption? And instead of the deal being, like, there was one thing where it was like they didn't even sign, it wasn't even a signature of a judge for my arrest warrant all the way in Nashville. I said, okay, it's across state lines. Oh, the FBI is going to be all over these guys on this one. And I thought there was going to be this major arrest. They flew out to Nashville and picked me, brought me back. The San Francisco PD, was a big criminal. And I said, okay, where's the signature? Where's the signature? And there was just a line. There was no signature on that arrest warrant. And I thought there was going to be massive arrests. Instead, I spent a year in jail. Like, it was rigged all the way. There were no arrests. And I'm going, oh, shit. That was before Trump. Now I think it was the opposite. I think it was like the FBI did come in on it, and what they said was, okay, we promise to bury this if you promise to keep her in jail for a year or something. Like, it was the opposite of what the deal should have been. It was like so corrupt that the corruption went against me. Instead of I don't know, it's hard to describe it. But with Trump, you get arrested, you do this stuff, and he just like, oh, okay, we'll take down the 6. Oh, okay, we'll legalize marijuana. Oh, okay, we'll take down the Chevron doctrine. I mean, he's always, oh, okay, we'll, like, right now he's blowing up the entire, I'm sure he's doing it. Oh, okay, we'll get the grand jury indictments back in the state courts. We'll just watch. It's just amazing what he's doing. I just love it. So all my, my bait, I mean, I don't mind being the bait now because it's working. Like somebody's actually benefiting from it because he's using it to the maximum, whatever. Just saw online that the U.S. bought, just saw online that the last time the U.S. bought land from Greenland, it was Epstein Island along with other land back in 1917. I've gotten used to ignoring Trump news and letting him do his thing because he is always up to the greater good, in my humble opinion. So now I am thinking this Greenland stuff, where every gay Nazi pedophile, infantophile online is having fits. That's the other thing is like, he's doing it right when you have these certain indicators and they're all having fits about it. It's like, yeah, great. He's really getting at them. They're having fits. It has something to do with breaking up international white gay Nazi pedophile, infantophile baby growing factories secretly based there, like in China and in Minnesota. Maybe it has something to do with the cold too, or the ice. Minnesota, ice, Greenland, pedophilia, infantophilia. They maybe have some kind of rituals and stuff. I'm gonna do a part about this Taylor Swift stuff that's blowing up right now. I'm kind of related to that. It's related to my lawsuit. I kind of triggered that whole thing, and I'll read that to you later. I know. Next comment. I know you were joking, but if your son's penis was sucked by a gay Nazi infantophile at some point, she didn't talk about that. She says, how they always blame it on the mother when a kid grows up to be a serial killer, and How do I prevent that from happening? And so I'm trying to help her out. I know you were joking, but if your son's penis was sucked by a gay Nazi infantophile at some point, an uncomfortably high probability, given you are a female celebrity surrounded by gay white Nazi infantophiles and pedophiles who control all celebs for now. You just can't avoid it right now. They're just all over the place. They're all over like white on rice. And if my hunches are correct, that this common gay Nazi infantophile practice of sucking baby dicks is a pathway for creating all sorts of problematic adult white males, including white gays, pedophiles, gay infantophiles, which is probably a redundant term, as I think all infantophiles are gay. And this in turn is where most mass murderers come from. So I'm going to start separating out pedophiles from gay pedophiles from hedophiles, I think it's called, the Lolita syndromes. It's going to be important to separate these out, I think, going forward. Then there may be a way to do a brain scan on your son to see if he has a susceptible brain configuration for this kind of stuff. Like, I think that it causes this kind of stuff, but not in everybody. And I think you could tell on the brain. I think science can determine this. But the thing is, nobody knows who's gay or not. I mean, I'm telling you, if you have an impeccable gaydar like mine, it's amazing what you can see that other people can't. Like, you start to see patterns, and it's just been happening this way with me for a long time. So I have this advantage that other people don't. And when they do studies on gays, it's hard because people could be lying if they're gay or not. And you're also getting the ones who are obviously gay, whereas there are some who are not quite as obviously gay that aren't being studied because they're not in the study and they're not admitting they're closeted. So you're not getting the right statistics. You're not getting the right brain scans. Okay, we're going to scan this person who's not gay, and we're going to scan that person who is gay, and the person they're scanning who they think is not gay is actually gay. Garbage in, garbage out. So the gay studies is going to improve significantly, and when that happens, it's going to be, we get better data on this stuff, including we're going to find out that a lot of this shit stems from spanking as well, but a lot of shit happens at a very early age, and it causes this stuff. You could be traced back to the gay gene, probably. There may be, I saw studies that said pedophiles had something in common in their brain scans. I mean, there may be something to it, though most science these days on gays or pedophiles has been screwed by gay Nazi pedophiles hiding the truth and killing any kind of funding that may expose the truth. So it will be tough for now to get at the truth. This is another thing that happens is they just don't study it. Like they'll say, marijuana, we don't know, or COVID-19, we don't know what causes it. You could find out in fucking 3 days what causes it. Just get the money and the funding and do it. But that's the thing they'll do. And that's what Fauci is. Like Fauci was the one who would fund the wrong things on purpose because he's not gay himself, but he's completely dominated by the gays who don't put money into where you need to study. Okay, so you think pedophilia is going to be at the truth when you have the fucking pedophiles who know what causes it probably, and they already know, but they're like preventing it in this. They're preventing money from going into this. But now it's going to happen more and more because it's just the way it is. You can't. Truth's going to eventually bubble up. There may be something to it, though most science these days on gays or pedophiles, blah, blah, blah. And there may be things parents can do to help reconfigure that little developing brain to do otherwise. Not necessarily to turn them not gay, as that one I think is set in stone, either before birth or very soon thereafter. Like a lot of fathers will think, oh, if you give them this toy, it turns them gay. I think they're turned gay, or they are gay. They have the gene, and then something also, they need the gene to begin with, and then something environmental having to do with testosterone will also trigger it. In the womb, we'll figure it out, but I don't think, unless in the womb or directly after birth, especially like the circumcision, which is something very early in the baby's life, very painful, followed by that dick sucking practice. And I forget the name of that thing that the Jews do. But if it's painful and then their dick is sucked, I think that has something that might turn them gay or turn them strange. I think it has something to do with that for sure. That needs to be made illegal, people. And there may be things parents could do to help reconfigure the little developing brain. Not necessarily to turn them not gay, but other stuff. And also attenuating how violent the gay male will be. I think, but that other stuff can probably be managed with environmental factors. Can't make them not gay, but you can make them, you can have them control their anger better. Oh, shite. Shit. Did I post anywhere? She was talking about that guy in Minnesota who supposedly, exposed the whole $1 billion scam. It's like, that was such bullshit because the dude was gay. And you go online. Did I post anywhere online that the guy you guys are talking about, the guy taking the video that supposedly exposed the Minnesota daycare fraud, is gay and not to be trusted? I think he's a gay redhead too. He's not to be trusted. It's just a typical ploy used by gay Nazi swamp assholes to retreat after being hit with a truth bomb. They regroup and get control back over the non-gay dumbass morons who are close to the truth. It's like, Jimmy Dore is best at this. Like, he comes on, Jimmy Dore is a pro at this. He's gay. Jimmy Dore is gay, but he'll come on and they'll retreat. He'll tell you the truth, and then they'll try to re-guide you down the path of, after regrouping. They say, okay, we lost that lie, we lost this lie. We're gonna start with this truth and get everybody on board, and then redirect them this way and that way. So that's what this was. It was like, okay, there's some shit going on, major shit involving daycare and involving federal money, scams going on in Minnesota. We're going to admit this and blow it up and say, take care of this, and then we're going to redirect them to say it's black Somalians and not white gay Nazis. It's black Somalians. That was the whole point of that. And it's not white, it's not black Somalians. It's white gay Nazis. The black Somalians will work for him, but everything there is going to be white gay Nazi Tim Waltz. And it's not just Tim Waltz, it's huge, but it's not, if you're going after Somalians, you're not going after the problem. You're just going after the foot soldiers. Okay, so the current truth that the non-gay dumbass morons are stumbling into in Minnesota, and I say stumbling because the only reason non-gay dumbass morons are seeing more of the truth these days, and will continue seeing more truth going forward forever, is that the gay Nazi swamp assholes are running out of the massive amounts of money it takes to cover over the truth, as they have been doing for millennia. Tim Waltz has been running statewide pedophile and infantophile rings in Minnesota that mirror the same kind of rings being run by white gay Nazi infantophiles and pedophiles in China. The quote-unquote truth the gay Nazi infantophiles and pedophiles are trying to spread now is that all this is being run by Somalians. Not. Somalian men are 3 times more likely to be smokers than any other brand of Muslims. Why? Because gay white Nazi infantophiles in Minnesota have been recruiting Somalians for decades to run their money-making scams in Minnesota. They are paid in cigarette cartons and with promises of citizenship if they do as told, starting with selling cigarettes to kids and teens illegally out of corner gas station mini-marts. Go to Minnesota and check out who runs every corner gas station if it's not a Muslim displaying illegal cigarette ads. When I spent the summer there trucking through that area, that's what I discovered. Of course, the first people to take the heat when the gay white Nazi infantophiles and pedophiles start to tank are black men and white women as well, but black men, Bill Cosby, P. Diddy, black Somalians, etc., while black women have their guards down about it because they are simultaneously being promoted by the gay white Nazi pedophiles. Can anybody say Kamala Harris being married to Douglas Emhoff, one of the biggest Jewish gay white Nazi infantophiles in history? At least once he went into partnership with his gay lover Tim Waltz. Okay. That's the end of that comment. Last comment. They get away with it, which is this is in reverse chronological order, by the way. Oh, hold on a minute. My cat has a lizard I gotta rescue. Hey, leave him alone. Can you see him? Little lizard. I gotta put him outside. Poor baby. Okay. Okay, cat. Okay. I know. You brought him in as a present. Thank you. Okay. They get away with it, which is a fraud. Like she's saying, how did they get away with this? She was onto something. They were so funny because they were figuring it out that it's like something bigger than this one guy uncovering $1 billion. They get away with it, meaning fraud involving federal tax money, because the federal government is too far removed to look into it. Make the state and local governments fund charities and social programs, including education. The closer to where the money is going, the less chance of corruption. Taking down the 16th Amendment will take care of this problem naturally without any new laws having to be passed. The Founding Fathers knew the best way to minimize government corruption was, quote unquote, no taxation without representation, which is another way of saying, quote, only the people footing the bill will be interested in making sure the money is spent most efficiently and without corruption. Trump also used to say, whenever he was doing a building site or building, he would say, I don't know how, he would say, he can't stress this enough, you have to be on the site while they're building. Otherwise, they'll take advantage. And like the builders will. And this is the same in retail, everything I've done. Like you can't have a manager who doesn't know what's going on because anyway, you just have to be there, and it's the same with everything. Not that you have to watch everything like a hawk, but it just makes more sense. And that's what the 16th Amendment torpedoed that on purpose. There's purposeful inefficiency so that fraud can go rampant and undetected, and that's what. Oh, this is so close. Okay. Bye, Whitney. You're great. I like commenting on your stuff. Anybody want to find out my ideas and stuff, go there. That's where I have this. Wait a second. Where's this one? Did I just do General Mills? Oh, I'm going to do that next. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So, before I said, what do you Whitney, when she was doing the smoking ad, I said, well, what can you go to? Like, what's not swampy? I said, maybe Post, maybe Pepsi was swampy and isn't, and maybe General Mills. Nope. They're all going down right now. They're all swampy, but maybe some less than others. We'll have to see. So I'm doing General Mills stock, and we're going to do General Mills, Pepsi, and Post. Cereal stocks. Cereal snack stocks. They're all, to me, what I call religion swamp. And I am not sure how to draw this now that I'm thinking about it, though. It's okay, I don't care. Is that the line? Because if that's the line, but then that doesn't make sense. So that's not the line. The new line is this one. Yeah, okay. The new line is going to be that one. And General Mills has pierced it. Absolutely. General Mills has got a loud downside to go, and I don't know where the bottom is because it just pierced the support line recently. That's General Mills. And I can't predict where it's going, it's just going down. General Mills. Okay? Pepsi. And I say they're religion swamp because they all had like a big influx, not a big one. This one wasn't as big, but around October 2023, you see this boop, and that's, they were going down, and then the religion swamp saved them with that war in Gaza, the fake war in Gaza. Pepsi stock. So I said Pepsi stock was swampy, but it recovered and is bouncing here. But nope, it's pierced. I need the big graph and the big graph and the skinny lines to determine this, which I just did recently. Maybe I will summarize everything, but I don't care. Okay. Yeah, Pepsi's not bouncing anywhere. It also pierced, so it's above the line now, but it's gonna fall. It's already pierced the support line. When I do the skinny, that's not it either. Anyway, I've already done this, you guys. I'm just showing you, like, and you're saying, how accurate could this be? It's just Google. It's just this weird Google thing, but it really is kind of accurate. I mean, I found in the past, yeah. Pepsi's going down, and I'm not sure where it ends either. I don't have any support line below this. It's all up to Trump. I mean, I don't know. And I also said that I said Post was the least swampy, and go to Post and have them sponsor you. But I'm gonna say no to that right now. As far as being strong, I think Post still has some down, and I just don't know how far it's gonna go. Probably not too far, but it has pierced. You need the skinny line to do this. Right. Shit. Yeah. Post has pierced down below the support line too, so I don't know where Post is going. It's not that, I mean, it's not. It's like, oh, it's just a little bit, but that's all it takes, guys. I promise. It looks okay, but it's just swampy. I don't know, guys. I'm just sticking by it. I'm not supporting Post anymore. As far as, I think there's still some downside to the stock. Maybe not a lot, but I have no idea. It's going down though from here at some time. I just don't know where. Sorry about that. And then, okay, so that was those guys. And so now we're going to do, okay, this is goodbye. Did I do Verizon? I did Verizon. Let's see where I am. I did Comcast. Okay, I did Comcast. Alright, so all I have left now to talk about, I think, is I did the Demon Hunters. Alright. I'm done with that. Look at this, guys. Okay, so now the last thing that's going to be another hour is we're going to look at every one of these stocks. And every one of these listed are going down, and then I'm going to tell you how far. Well, I'm not sure about some of them. No, I'm pretty sure about most of these. Oh no, except Wonder. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so Wonder Bread is going to be Flowers Foods. Let's just do this. It's not a big company, so it's not a big deal. Oh God. It's just, I have no idea. That is really, it's a good sign because it's a pedophile swamp. I'm just trying to see what they were before. Like, it's even broken. There used to be a support line a long time ago. I can't even, I mean, well, I'm just saying before I wasn't able to draw a line. Yeah, I was. Nope. I mean, I wasn't able to draw a line anyway. Ever. Like, it looks nice, but it's always been ugly. So who knows? I can't even begin to think. But the good news is, ooh, yeah, they even broke through that one. Holy crap. Like, holy shit. So, anyway, this one is. But look at that. October 2023, it tried. But this was the one that I got from the Billy Madison movies. So, I can't tell you where Flower Foods is going. But that's from Billy Madison Petty movie. Okay, so let's do Coca-Cola. We're going to do Coca-Cola, Procter and Gamble. Coca-Cola is now my flagship. I have picked KO, not the other, Coca-Cola as my flagship pedophile swamp stock. The way Altria is for tobacco, Pfizer is for pharmaceutical, the airline index is for, and then also, what do I pick for? I'm going to say T-Mobile is for the religion swamp, and T-Mobile is for the Jewish half of the religion swamp, and Pepsi is for the Christian half, and they're both something like that. Okay, so let's look at Coca-Cola, and I'll tell you why it's ugly. So a couple of things went down. Well, this looked like pharmaceutical swamp. So, first of all, in most of these graphs, I'm going to point out March 23rd, 2020, which was, well, it's around April. It's around April or March. March 23rd, 2020 is when the Dow actually, at 11:45 a.m. Eastern time, hit its low. But you could see it on almost every one of these graphs. This is it right here. That's the March 2020 from the fake pandemic Holocaust. That will stand out. Another thing that stands out is sometimes the swamps, like the tobacco swamp, and I have various peaks. But the one is the religion swamp is this one, October of 2023. You could see there's a low, and then if it's a part of the religion swamp, it'll have like it started to go down here. I can't point it out without it. I started to go down here, and then the religion swamp made it go up. That's religion swamp stuff. So, but the other thing is, if it looks like there's been support, well, let's just draw a support line and we'll see. So there's definitely a little bit of religion swamp there, but not a lot. I don't know how to describe it, except many different factors went into this decision. That this is now this is super ugly. This is pharmaceutical shit going on there. It just tells you there's unnatural input from other places like Congress and taxpayer money. But I always have to include, if this is sticking out so prominently, you can't draw any support lines that do not include this. Like, I can't just ignore that and draw this over here or do this, whatever. I have to use this when it's so prominent like that. That's just a rule I'm making up, but so that is our support line. That's it. And it has to come back to this. Now, does it have to? It didn't happen that way on the Dow. Look what happened with the Dow. The Dow did that, but it went like this. I think this was like, I had it like that, and it dipped a little bit below that, didn't it? Anyway, this is the Dow support line. What's going on? Come here. Okay. So, you would say, wow, the Dow has to come down to that. Not really, because something did happen. When the swamp, when the Dow reached that low during the fake pandemic Holocaust, a lot of swamp stocks were cleared out of swampy shit going on, and a new support line formed with the Dow. So we got that one, and then there's this one. And you can see that you need some dipping down into it like this. If it's not dipping down in a line, then I'll explain that in a minute. And I think there is another line starting now. It's going like this. It's just going to keep doing that until all the swamps are cleared out. But invest in the Dow is what I'm saying. Actually, I don't know. I'm doing this for whatever, just to... I don't know why I'm doing this, because just invest in the Dow is what I've always said. Don't try to... But I think it helps if you want to see what the individual stocks are doing, if you're looking for sponsors or something. So, is this what's going on? So the question is... Now I want to show you the second line that I'm drawing that uses the dip at March 2020. I have to use that as part of the support line, but you see the Dow went down to the support lines on all of this. That's not happening with a lot of the swamp stocks. It doesn't happen that way. So you go like this and you say, oh, okay, well, let's draw a second line that involves other stuff. Actually, it does for, it doesn't for Coca-Cola. Watch. Well, it could. It does one other line. You see that? It's not quite, you can't draw a line that has more than 1 or 2 points, and that's not good, is what I'm saying. I'm not making up rules, I'm just trying to explain. I don't think about this. I just do the lines, and now I have to explain it. But it's just swampy because I can't draw the second line. I can't draw a second line. So that is not a support line to me. It might, okay, well, let's just say this. If that is the second support line, like the Dow, it still has downside to go, because it's got to come down to this support line. Okay, so let's just pretend. It's eventually going to have to meet this support line. Well, that's not down, is it? It's so stupid. That is down. So it's just got some downside to it. In the future, it's eventually got to get to this line somehow. And if it passes through that, my prediction is Coca-Cola is pedophile swamp. It's the last swamp to go. And this is my prediction for Coca-Cola. I really, from this here, from its involvement with the pedophile Stranger Things, and from its fakeness today, yesterday, like that was stock manipulations, is what I'm saying. When the whole Dow goes down, except for Coca-Cola and Procter & Gamble, or unless that's just Trump, paying attention to me because the world does revolve around me. That could have been that too, but I'm saying this is the support line. And I'm saying this, when this comes down to here, we will know the pedophile swamp has been drained. So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it, guys. Boom. Boom. Something like that. So my prediction for Coca-Cola is that by... Is that straight? Okay, so by sometime this year, May, June, it's going to be down to, it's going to start to 50. It's gonna break 60. It's gonna possibly break 55. It could. We have to wait till it gets closer, but it's going down toward. It's gonna be below 60 for sure, is my prediction. And then I'll have to look at it later. But it's gonna start to implode, if it hasn't already. That's Coca-Cola below 60. I'm not going to. It's 11:15. I'm not going to list everything out. I'll just refer to this later from if it's right, or I'll look at it later, but just draw my lines. Okay, so that's Coca-Cola. 50 by May, something like that. 55, 50. SJM, the GIF, that's from Stranger Things. Bum, 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 bum. Smucker. Let's see what we got. Oh, that one's kind of ugly too. Oh, the other thing is if it looks like it's getting support from many different swamps. And that one, that was just a straight line. Like, it was above the support line, and yet it was consistently above the support line, meaning it was consistently across many months getting support from the swamps. From Congress, mostly. This is the same thing, I think. God, that's ugly, though. Shit. Like, I can't even... Let's just do this one. Okay. I don't think I even need the thin one here at this point, but maybe. Alright. I can't use the 2020, so I'm going to use this. Let's just do this. I gotta pick up the pace here. So whatever, it's still gonna go down. Smuckers? I don't know. It's gonna just keep doing this. It's called a controlled implosion. I don't know if that's gonna keep doing that. That's just my guess. Let's just do this. Close enough. Controlled implosion. Actually, that's not June or July, is it? Oh, we are in 2024 is where we are now. Okay, never mind. 2023, and we're in 2026. Oh, I said June. Anyway, this year. Everything's this year, because everything's imploding this year. 75. SJM, JM Smucker Company is going down to 75, and then we'll take a look at it later. Come on, I gotta keep moving here. Tide is Procter & Gamble. These are all pedophile swamps. And when they do this, it means that the pedophile swamp, once the pedophile swamp has been drained, we're all set. And because it'll happen simultaneously with the 16th Amendment coming down and the 2026. It's all kind of happening simultaneously. Oh, okay. What are we doing? Tide, Procter & Gamble. This one looked like it was doing great. For then the fake pandemic Holocaust hit right here. Fake pandemic. Oh no, the fake pandemic Holocaust is that one. But whatever, it was doing great here. That still might be the support line that it's going to be that support line. I don't know, with the swampy shit. All this was a religion swamp, because this is October here. This one is fucking ugly as hell too. Shit. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going. It's just gonna keep going down. I mean, I don't see any other. I don't see any other support line. Procter and Gamble has a lot of downside to go. Procter and Gamble is going to 100 by 2026. It's every 10 years. Well, shit, that might be a while. Procter and Gamble's going down to 100 in 2027 sometime. Okay, that's it. Done. Did I just delete my... Oh, God. Target? So let's do Target. So the thing about Target is you would think just by looking at it that it had bounced off of a support line. It hasn't, so it still has some downside to do to test this. So, and it's very swampy being there, and and I think it's gonna break through. But eventually, it's going to have to come down to this and test this. Maybe it will here. I don't know. I'm going to say... I don't know how low it's going to go because I don't think this is... I don't think it's going to... I think it's going to pierce right through this support line. So... You know, it's going to bounce around. It's going to break 100. It's going to be below 100. And then, I don't know. I think it's going to go out of business. Target out of business. Like bought over, and it's just so... I just working there, and Discovery card. I'm not going to do any of the financial stuff. Well, the finances, well, let's see. Let's just look at it. I think the financials are, well, okay. I don't think this is the, we'll see. I'm not going to do the financials because I think they're on a different line, even though they're not involving the 2020. Actually, okay. You know what? Let's try this. Can't. I'm going to try it. I'm telling you right now, the financials are problematic for me because I'm going to say a lot of the financials are going to start to go sideways a little bit this year, if not down. If they do go down, it's not going to be a lot. I mean, if they break through this, I just don't know what to say right now. The financial stocks are going to be fine. They're going to start melting everybody's face off. They're the ones that are driving the Dow right now, I think. Yeah, they're purging. I don't want to touch it. Just invest in the Dow. Just invest in the Dow. You'll be fine. I don't know what to do with that one. I don't know what to do with the financial ones. Capital One Financial. Sorry. No, I don't know. I think the Dow. I think they're driving the Dow, and when I say the Dow, so out of all the financial stocks, this one is swampy though because they funded a swamp. They funded a pedophile show, which is, but who knows? Let's do Netflix. Let's do Netflix. Oh, this one's that. Okay. So Netflix, I'm not going to use that. There's the 2020 is way over here. It's strange. So it is different as far as many different swamps, yes. But it seems to have formed, and I'm going by this one thing. I'm going by their rom-coms have been good and not swampy. So I'm going to say, we're going to watch this. Sorry, guys. Shit. Nope. Why is this so hard? There we go. It's looking like, I mean, I think Netflix is going to be fine because of the rom-coms that they're doing, showing hope, but it will go down to the line, and that is going to be, where are we, 85? The lowest is going to go probably is like, I'm going to say 65 in a few months. This year it's going to approach this line, and then we'll see if it bounces off of it. If it doesn't bounce off of it, it's a free fall, but I don't think so. So some downside to Netflix, but not much. It's going to go down to 65. Bounce off that support line. Pedophile swamp stock, but purging. They're ahead of the curve. Netflix, Salesforce. Holy shit, there's another ugly one. This one is definitely pedophile because it's supported by several, and it's all over the map. What a totally manipulated. These are the guys. just forget about it. Let's just do the graph and I don't know. So scientific. Sometime this year. Sometime this year, Salesforce will go down to 180. Okay, and bounce and then do okay. Or maybe not. No, I mean, I don't know. They're very creepy. I'm gonna monitor. It's going to go. It's going down, and 180 might be where it stops or not. But I'll look at it more closely when these guys start. All of them are going down. Every one of these that I'm listening here is going down. It's just a matter of how much. Like that one is like some of them are going to go out of business. 3M. God, it's just like Salesforce. Fucking ugly, swampy shit. All for swamp, pedophile swamp. The final swamps to go down here. Okay. Oh shit. Can we not use this one? Nope, that's not gonna work. Okay. So we have to use just these two. Oh. So weird. So sometime, like not this necessarily this year, everybody's going down, but it could go into 2027. Early 2027 is going to be 80 in half. This one's gonna go down a lot. Oh, I actually think this one's going out of business. Yeah. But we'll get closer. When it gets closer, it's just very swampy to me. So 3M is gonna go down to a half at least, and then Trump could come in and well, whatever. It's fine. That's always the excuses. It's gonna be Trump coming in. So Lowe's versus Home Depot. All right. This is so ugly. I mean, at first I thought they look like they're doing okay because of this, but it's It's a fucking pedophile. I don't understand why it's a pedophile. I worked there. Well, I worked there. It could be. Like, I'll tell you something. I don't want to be fired, guys. I'm treating everybody the same, okay? I don't care if this is Lowe's. I don't care the name of it is Lowe's and I'm worked there, but okay. So that's the 2020 low. So is this going to be like the Dow? Okay, well, let's draw a line, and we can't. I can't draw a line like the Dow. It's very ugly. There's nothing. There's nothing there. It's going. Okay, just I don't even want to explain it. I'm not even going to explain it. This shit is going to be one of the worst. Whatever, something like this. Hello, babies. Maybe further into 2028. Well, we'll see. I'm going to say 125, 135. Let's go halvesies. Just to be, let's say it's going to be halvesies. I'm just going to go halvesies. I'm going to just say, just because it's convenient and it's closer, but it's going to be in half. It's going to be 135 in 2027. I'm sorry about that, Lowe's. I love my job. I work for you. I'll keep working for you. I love all the people I'm working with. But there are indications that there are a lot of gay, like there's just a lot of gays there, closeted gays, and where there's a, you know, where you have a lot of closeted gays, you're gonna have corruption. There's a lot of things they do. For instance, okay, let's just look at Home Depot, and I'm gonna do one thing. I mean, it's just what it is. It is what it is. I read a long time ago, and I'm not sure I believed it, but Lowe's was in a poorer position than Home Depot because Lowe's gets more of their stuff from China. And China, if you're getting, you need to start relying more on home stuff. But let's just do this and see if they're faring any better. So let's see if we could draw a Dow-like line with these guys. And guess what? You can. Right there, 3 points. You see that? So I don't understand why Home Depot would be so much better off than Lowe's, but it's going to be the same as Walmart versus. So I've worked at Walmart, I worked at Target, I worked at Lowe's. The only place I haven't worked is Home Depot, but I did go there and fare it out. I didn't interview, I didn't apply, or I preferred Target and I preferred Walmart when I was doing this, and they never called me. On this one, I just went to the first place that offered, which was Lowe's. I never went to a Home Depot. I never went to the Home Depot interview, or they weren't hiring or something. But I'm calling it right now. If everybody says, what's the difference between Walmart and Target? When you looked at the graphs, they were almost the same like 3 years ago. And yet something told me Walmart was going to do much better than Target. Because there's gays at both places, but it's just the gays that were at the Target were, and the way it was run, like the structure of Target was gay. Okay, just the whole structure of it. And it's hard to undo that, and it's hard to explain. I don't want to explain it. Okay, so the whole structure of Lowe's, the whole structure is gay. Like, and I don't know you can't solve that problem. It's just going to either fall apart and go bankrupt, or I don't know what the hell, and I don't want to be fired. But I think Home Depot is not. I think Home Depot is going to go and Lowe's is going to fail. I think Home Depot is going to be like Walmart, and I think Lowe's is going to be like Target, and it's a gay versus not gay thing. Home Depot and Walmart have gay elements that they're going to need to purge, but they're eventually going to be okay. And they're still going to go, they're not going to go up or down, they're going to go sideways for a while. Maybe up a little bit, but they're going to go sideways. And if they break this line though, then they'll still go down. Okay, if this support line, we'll find out by March or April if it's going to pierce that, and if it does, it's still not too bad. So the worst they could do is go sideways for a while and then really start to take off like Walmart, or it will go down to here, and it's not as bad as Lowe's. Even if it does break that line, we're talking, and not in half, we're talking a quarter, like down to, it's going to pierce below 300 probably. Maybe lower, like 270, 280, 380 to 280 is not half. So Home Depot, even if it does pierce this line, is going to be even on the other support line. So Home Depot is going to fare better no matter what. But I think it's going to be a Target versus Home Depot thing. So here's one difference I'm going to tell you right now. Right now, Lowe's is advertising for kids to come in and do the little workshops on the weekends. Home Depot and Lowe's both do this. Bring your kids in, and they'll do these little workshops on Saturday mornings. It's like once a month, both of them. But if you're going to do it at Home Depot, I could just wake up Saturday morning and take my kids to Home Depot, and I don't have to sign up. I don't have to do anything. It's free. If I feel like it, you do it. Now, sometimes they're full and you won't get a kid or there's a problem, but you could still try and do it or whatever. And if, and then you can get the kid later, whatever it is. And they encourage you to apply online for it. And if you do, you just put a name and then you say number of kids. You put your name and you can make up the name. And then you say number of kids and you can make up the number of kids, and then you don't have to show up, or you do show up. But it doesn't matter. Lowe's, if you want to do the Saturday morning with the kids, it is required that you have to be a Lowe's member, okay, first of all. And then you have to sign up. You can't just show up there without signing online and giving your kids names and shit. So, fuck that. That's kind of a little bit of, I would suggest to any parents, don't do that. It's a little bit of I'm getting pedophile vibes from that at Lowe's. It's pedophile. It's like tracking your kids. Like, do not give kid information like that to Lowe's. Just be like Home Depot. Go to Home Depot for your kids. I don't know who's cheaper or whatever and that kind of stuff, or who runs better or whatever. It's just the feeling I'm getting just from the difference when I heard on the little announcer, like registration required, and it was like, what was that? Your child registration required. Like, they want information on your kids just to have a little free workshop. Why? That's gay. You know what that is? that is, it's just, it's hard to explain, but the fact that they're requiring you to register your kid. Well, okay, I'm not going to play the other one because that will get me in trouble probably. No, it won't. It's fine. But I am gay myself, and I am officially gay on Lowe's employment things. I am a female. I'm 60, so I'm elderly, female, gay. I've got all the woke protections. Well, you know, if I were not white, it would help too, but yeah. So it's depressing, and it took me a while to get to this, but I just decided this just today. And I was right and I did this with Walmart and Target. It's just a feeling and a hunch, and I'm trying to explain the hunch. And it just seems so, this is it. I'm done. I think that's everything. I'm just done. Lowe's is, compared with Home Depot, I think Lowe's is a pedophile stock with these guys. These guys are all going down. When I say pedophile, I mean, maybe they have something to do with shit going on in China. I don't know. Doesn't feel like it. Well, it kind of does. I just don't know what you could do. Like, what could Target do when they're fundamentally a gay structure? What is a gay structure? I don't even want to... Target and Lowe's has this thing where you're working and they say, no, we all have to get together and do this thing. And it was so much fun. I have a lot of good memories from Target. And I guess they try to be younger or something. But we would all have to stop our work and go and do this, I guess it's called bonding or something. While we can't do the customers, and we couldn't, and this was while we're being paid, and we do the gingerbread house, and it was not like, it was mandatory, like, and I was glad it was, but you couldn't just say, no, I'd rather work. It wasn't like, hey, this is optional. You had to do this during work hours when we're like busy as fuck trying to put things on the shelf, and they also had this thing where, anyway, and Lowe's is kind of the same. I heard Home Depot does it too, but Lowe's every day for like 15 to 20 minutes, the whole store has to go, all the workers go to this meeting, and they talk about the money and everything, like what came in, and it's like, I have nothing to do with this, like, as a worker. And another thing is Lowe's and Target and Lowe's are big on customer replies, like, the way you get promoted or whatever is you have to have good customer feedback on you, and that is so easily manipulated. The gays do this all the time. It is gay run, is what I'm saying. Like, you can't tell who your good workers are. You have to go by what the customers are saying about them, and you know, it's so bad. It's not the way to tell who a good worker is or not. Customers don't want to give feedback on this shit. I don't work for Lowe's. You figure it out. I don't, like, if I walk in and a Lowe's person who helped me says, could you please do a survey and say I did a good job? And it's just like, I don't even want to shop there. Like, what the fuck is that? And they did that at Target too a little bit. And I can't imagine Walmart basing things on customer, like they base it, like if you got good customer or not, it does it, that's fine. But to make it a big part of like 100% of whether you're, as these surveys, it's killing our female, like we replaced the gay white guy with a female Hispanic, but this is killing her. The survey thing is killing her. Like, she says, come on, you guys, please get the surveys in. And it's like, a business is going to be going out of business soon. We can't get shit on the shelves. We got to get the prices down. They're going through the roof. and you're worried about doing these customer survey things, it's not her fault. This is a gay culture. And I don't know how to stop this Titanic from hitting the iceberg. It already has hit the iceberg, and now it's just sinking, it feels like. Like, I don't know how to change that, Lowe's. But I would suggest to parents, don't bring your kids to go to the Home Depot. Don't register your kids at Lowe's. Don't put their names in, and don't tell Lowe's that you have children. If you have a Lowe's account and they have all this information on you and credit card, do not make it known to Lowe's that you also have children. Like, they have your credit card, they have your house, they have every information, and now they know you have children. And if the gays who work there are in love with somebody, and a man, a pro guy, and then they know he has kids, I don't even want to think about it. Like, just don't. It's pedophilia, it feels like, you guys. Don't do that shit. And if that's just a tiny little example. And now that's it, I'm done. Bye. 11:51, I'm gonna post this. I have to edit it because I have a whole 10 or 20 minutes from this morning. But this is gonna be, okay. I'm gonna see if I covered everything. I did. That's everything, we're done. We're done, guys. Bye. Everything's gonna be okay, everybody. Hang in there. It's a good day for a great day. I meant to say, did I tell you that the Walmart radio hasn't played anything since, and I'm still worried about Chris, and I'm still worried. Like, Bo came on, the Bo show came on at 1, but not Kirby Gwen at 4, and not Chris at 7. So I think something happened. I hope they're okay. I don't think it has. I think okay. So everything's gonna be okay. Everybody, hang in there. Godspeed. Hang in there. It's a good day for a great day, and Godspeed to everybody coming out the other side in one piece. That's PEACE and PIECE. Okay, bye.